All right, so big bear flag, small bear flag. Remember, this is what we were trying to avoid breaking down into. We had that fight on the macro between the W pattern and the macro bear flag, right? So W pattern did not invalidate. Invalidation for the W pattern would have been right there.
Over here, shark.
And we haven't invalidated the bear structure yet, but we did
Shark, I need to talk
find
about with
support back
you.
into the range, right? So now we're looking to break out of that W. Breaking out of that W will invalidate this bear flag and will bring us back into the range for the macro one, which is important. What happens in here is going to be the difference between 98 and 108. So pay attention to this part because this part is important. So this is the bottom of our flag, right? Getting back up into this range, let's say we break this W, getting back up into this range, depending on how long it takes, could take us to that 98, right? By the time we're there, maybe that 50 EMA has come down. Right? There is a chance that we reject off the bottom of this and that's it. Right? It would have to take a while, right? Like it would have to play out to where, hold on, let me see if I can make this make more sense. It would have to play out in a way where it took long enough in time to where you're hitting 98, that 50 EMA, and the bottom of that flag at the same time. Right? But chances are, once we get in here, is when we decide how this is going to play out. If we can fly up quick and we don't take time, and we get into this range and we hold. Hold on, get rid of that. We can get into this range and hold. Then 98 would be right around here. Right? If we can get above that, then top of the range would be that 108 that I'm talking about. We would have to, I mean, we have to break out of this bearish structure if we're even going to think about taking out these highs. We can't even think about taking out all-time high until you can take out 115. Anything underneath that on the macro is just going to be a lower high. Right? So the path, yeah, exactly. Once you come into this channel and you hold, you should try to make an attempt to see the other side, just the way range trading works, right? You hold the bottom, you push out for the top. The only thing stopping us would be this. See it? Only thing really that could stop you from getting to the top of the range once you get in is that 50. So first target for the dead cat bounce, to simplify it, is the 50 EMA on the weekly. At that point, I've satisfied a couple of metrics on it being a suitable dead cat bounce. Right? Not just this little 18%, but you know, that would have been a dead cat bounce of bottoms. That would have been a dead cat bounce of about 23%, 22%. Right. Let's look at our drawdown recoveries. These are our drawdowns during bear markets and bull markets. Right? During across the 4 cycles. The smallest dead cat bounces in the bear market have been about 26, 27%, right? Some of the bigger ones have been 40, 43%. The average is 34%. If this was still a bull market, then our average would be 75%, 96%, 28%, 120, 58%. But it's important, first of all, to identify which market you're in. In my opinion, overwhelmingly, we're in a bear market. Right? We have our bear market checklist. We walked this thing down, waited very patiently for everything to check out. So that part I'm not worried about. So now the percentages, right? 26% was the smallest. So if you match that, you see 101. 40% was the highest. If you match that, you see 112, right? 35.4% was the median, which will take us to the target of 108 that I'm sort of looking at. That's just historical, right? Historical performance doesn't ensure future, whatever, blah, 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 YouTube, but all we have is history to look back at, right? In this range that we've been in, that's been the performance in the past for this point of the cycle. All right, Dom dropped out of that bear flag. That means alts should have a little bit of room to maneuver. Ethereum is taking the wrong direction, unfortunately. Come on, ETH, they need you. No problem, y'all. None of that shit's gonna be recorded on the stream either, because we're at 14 hours, which is why I don't like to let it roll over, but it's all good.